this flag has been co-opted by some white supremacists. When you had the 13 colonies, you had slavery in America at the time.
The shoe, the flag, it represented a period of time where, with all due respect, I was 3/5 of a human being.
Well, the left is clearly very upset over the Betsy Ross flag, which they claim over and over is a symbol for white supremacists. But where were they when it was flying in our nation's capital for this huge event? Now, of course, that looks familiar to you. That is President Obama's first inauguration. But what about this one? Oh, yeah, that's President Obama's second inauguration. Don't you just love the smell of hypocrisy? It smells like burnt popcorn, actually. Joining me now is Horace Cooper, co-chair of Project 21, and Anthony Tall, Democratic strategist and sports lawyer. That's a good combination, Anthony. Horace, on a scale of 1 to 10, how offended are you by the American flag, of any version of it?
Does 0 count as one of my options?
0 is an option.
I love the American flag. In fact, if you come to my house, you'll see one flying out on my house right now.
Well, you know, on this, obviously it's an issue for us on the 4th of July, but we're a nation that looks to the flag because we're a nation that was born of an idea. For this particular protest, it seems to me that this is just like unlocking a door, that the idea of America itself is the thing that's under attack. Would you agree with that, sir? Horace?
Well, I absolutely would agree. I think that's exactly what's going on here. Either we're watching a fairly elaborate ritual or publicity stunt, or there's out-and-out hate being manifest. There isn't really any way to look at how someone can say they are offended by the idea that as we approach the 4th of July, the day that this American concept came into being, a concept that has impacted the planet for good, if you are offended by that, you either are part to hate or it's a publicity stunt. I don't see any other two options.
Yeah, so you know, Anthony, that's an interesting point, though, when it comes to publicity. You're also involved in sports and you're a lawyer. Do you think that this is serious? Because, you know, the flag's been around for a while. President Obama, of course, embraced all the flags. What's your take on this? Are these serious complaints, or is it really, look at how often we've been talking about Nike? Mr. Kaepernick is back in the news again. What's your take on this from the sports perspective here?
Well, from the sports perspective, as someone who's worked with a lot of athletes, I can tell you that this is a new generation. This is a different generation. This generation is the generation of LeBron. Nike is a product of champion. LeBron speaks out against injustice. His generation doesn't feel comfortable with anything that is attached to a history where black people were treated very badly, or black people were in chains, or slaves. So when Horace makes these points, we all love the American flag. Not that flag, but we all love the American flag that is currently our flag, and we all like to salute it and respect it. But this is a different generation. This is a generation,
Kaepernick.
And Nike is smart. Nike is smart. Nike is driven by the market. Nike is driven by the market. The market is urban black people who buy these products.
Yeah, look, both. I know this is a big conversation. I appreciate your points of view here, but I have to quickly get your thoughts on what MSNBC guest Michael Eric Dyson said earlier today. Listen to this, guys.
Why don't we wear a swastika for July 4th? Because, I don't know, it makes a difference. The cross burning on somebody's lawn. Why don't we just have a Nike, you know, celebration of the cross? Well, because those symbols are symbols of hate. So we can take PC culture back. This flag has been used by people who want to pummel African Americans, Latinx, Jews, and other people. Why not choose a flag that is representative of everybody?
So, Anthony, you'd have to admit that goes a bit far, it literally equating the American flag with a swastika. But we have to ask, what flag then would be better suited to be representative of Americans? Is there some other idea, or do you agree with Mr. Dyson, or does that go too far?
Well, I respect the American flag, and I think the flag that we have now is fine. Not the one that goes back to colonial days when blacks were in chains and were slaves and treated as 3/5 human beings.
All right. Well, panel, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Horace. I appreciate you joining us as well. Sorry, it was such short on time here.